Hello world, and welcome to Elevated Intuition. Today we are going to be talking about your life purpose. Why are you here? Why did we incarnate on earth at this time? And I know, yeah, just, simple topic, easy topic, right? This is a pick a card reading, which means you get to pick the card, the number, the object, which I will be placing here in a moment. You use your intuition to do that. I have the timestamps down below in the description. You click on that timestamp, you meet me at your reading, and then I use my intuition to read the cards for you. So at any time, you can venture over to your reading and we can just start. If you know. Your discernment, your intuition is key. So use that. Use that. If it doesn't feel like it's not for you, it's not for you. So take what resonates and leave the rest, especially here in this group reading, when I only have 3 choices here for your life purpose. But I feel like it covered it. I feel pretty strongly about this. So for group number 1, I just wanted to take the number away so that you can see this is a cat with a paw. So this deck is very much related to cats. And the object I am putting with it is not cat related at all. It's a tree. No, it's a moss agate star. So for group number 2, just a simple white deck. I know it seems super unassuming, but the artwork on it is exquisite. This is Tarot of Mystical Moments. It is a very surreal deck, very beautiful. And the object that goes with it is Apatite. And that's an Apatite palm stone. For group number 3, there's the beautiful back of this. It also has gold leaf on the other side, and it's probably the most traditional deck that I have out here today. This is Golden Art Nouveau for group number 3, and we have a heart, and it is a druzy heart. So when the crystals are open like this and you can see them on the inside, that is druzy. So if you're still not sure which to pick, that's okay. You can do an exercise with me where I'm just gonna be here in the moment. Go ahead and close your eyes, take a deep breath in and release. We're going to release out any tension. We're going to set the intention to get the messages that you need to hear. Go ahead and take another deep breath in and release. Open your eyes, and wherever your eyes are drawn, that is the group for you. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I will see you at your reading. Hello, group number 1. This is our green moss agate. So green moss agate is often considered kind of a grounding stone because of the formations that are inside of it. Like, it reminds us of earth. It reminds us of moss, things that grow on earth. This one is, in the shape of a star, obviously. So I get a lot of starseed vibes from this. Green moss agate is also said to have anti-inflammatory properties, and it was supposed to be a stone for midwives, so that's interesting as well. Let's talk about your soul purpose, shall we? So let's not beat around the bush. Let's just ask the question of, why are you here? And the first card that comes out, we have the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups is kind of like a card about a journey, a new journey. We have water energy, we have movement, but we also have, I can understand why you might have some questions, because the page is somebody who may be in over their head. However, I think that once you start looking, I'm hearing looking under the hood, so you start looking at the inner workings of things, that you start being surprised, maybe by how powerful that you are, maybe by how quickly you catch on. The Page of Cups is often, it's usually depicted with somebody holding a cup and there's a fish inside the cup. So there's surprises here along this journey. I think you're finding your soul purpose in surprising ways and surprising places. But yet I feel like there's something that seems very home about it. There's something that seems very like, yes, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is where I'm supposed to do. This is an energy of following your heart, following your like that gut feeling. This says the Page of Cups represents dreamer, love, happy surprise, news, and sensitivity. I'll read to you what it has in reverse. So when in reversed, it represents frustration, emotional immaturity, dependence, and insecurity. And while this is upright, I'm reading all of the cards upright. Insecurity, or that idea of like, I'm getting kind of like the idea of who am I? And you're very, again, like I said, more powerful than you might think. You might have guessed. Who are you? Why not you? Almost like a why me, why not you kind of vibe going on here. I'm just going to pull one of these cards. I think it goes along really well with this first question. And the reason I said wow is because the throat chakra comes out. Your voice is very powerful. So the throat chakra is located in your throat, but it is about communication. It's about speaking. It's about maybe your voice carrying some weight. The frequency of the throat chakra, the blue flower of life, supports our self-expansion and our sense of peace and balance. With the Page of Cups, the Cups energy is very much about peace as well. Finding peace in your emotions and speaking. Sometimes this gets made fun of, but the whole like speaking your truth kind of thing coming out. Okay. I just was thinking if there was anything else that I was missing. I want to pull one of these cards as well. So these are very, just great cards. Work your light. And we get boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? So part of what might be holding you back from speaking is this idea of how you look to other people. And your boundaries start with your personal definition of yourself. It would probably do you very well to, also coming through is we teach people how to treat us. So if you have been afraid to express yourself, express who you are, it's time to kind of like go. Also, when you say things and say it with love, like it's really hard for others to argue with it. And I feel like you're somebody who does say things from your heart, from a place of love. And I think that's really important here. You're meant to be somebody who speaks from love. I'm not necessarily seeing you, like I love this depiction of this person standing here. She's got her arms out, like arm's length. It's, be careful who you let into your energetic field, who you let influence you. You have to, like, I almost feel like everybody and everything needs to pass a vibe check. And your boundaries are part of what you accept as well. So just because somebody said something doesn't mean that you have to accept it that way. The news is a great example of this. Every day they say something and then, the whole idea of fact checkers, right? There's a lot of things that people express that are really not true. For you, remember I said that whole speak your truth thing, that's part of running it through your discernment and your filter, and that filter of your intuition and of your heart, which is very, very important here with this Page of Cups. So what you are here for is to love people and to tell people what they need to hear in a very loving way. To not be influenced by others. I mean, of course we're going to be influenced by others, yes, but without thinking about it, without filtering it. If you accept something, it's because it passes that vibe check. It's because it passes that love that through your heart. And because of that, I think that there's a great integrity here. So first of all, you might be listening to this and you're like, wait a second, I don't know. Like an inspirational speaker, for instance, would be somebody who fits into this. But really, if you're just some sort of guide, some sort of, a teacher in some way, and that can even just be with the people that you work with. I mean, we're starting small and we're ending up huge. We're ending up big here. You might also be somebody who creates, like you have something important to say and you can create it in a creative way through your artwork, through your art form, through poetry. Your message is meant to be heard. And I almost feel like, I don't want to say it's like in a sneaky way, but it's not in a like, hey, you, it's not a very confrontational way where you're telling people this is the way it is and, that's the way it's going to be. That's not you at all. And I also want to say with this throat chakra and the Page of Cups, part of really expressing yourself and having your ideas carry a lot of weight and integrity is listening to others and incorporating what they say. But the boundary part is like, okay, I understand like your perspective is this, but from my perspective, that isn't true. Or, just because you're somebody in authority, it doesn't mean authority. And I put that in quotes because really all authority is somebody that we have decided to give power to. It's not always earned. You're here to earn that power through like the very respectable, very in the things that you say with integrity and the things that you say through your heart and intentions. When we have Justice, you're being called, so the Justice is related to Libra. You might also have a very like strong Libra energy. You are here to represent balance, fairness, objectivity, perception, and truth. So again, I kind of said, speak your truth. You're meant to speak your truth. You're here to expand and open ideas and shift ideas. You're here to give the little guy a voice. You're here to, like, those forgotten souls that maybe you're the only one who sees. Maybe you're in that area of those forgotten souls. You're here to give that voice. How are you blocking yourself? So what is kind of standing your way? And we got the Four of Pentacles. Interesting how that just flew right out, right? So the Four of Pentacles is maybe you're just sitting in a spot thinking that you can't do it. The Four of Pentacles does represent balance, charismatic, emotional control, and structure. So those are all good things. But when it's in reverse, it represents fragility, conservation, security, holding on to money, and self-improvement. What I would say to add on to this is like how you're not getting out of your own way. Sometimes you have to think outside of the box. Sometimes you have to get out of what you have known, what you have done, what you think is possible. I love fours. Fours are great. They're a number of stability. If you think about the chair that you're probably sitting on right now, it probably has 4 legs. Most of them do. It's, you know, we have a room has 4 walls, but when we're inside that room, when we're barricaded inside that room, that's where we can run into a problem, when we aren't sharing, when we aren't expanding. And the 4 of Pentacles can talk about putting that security over what we're being called to do. So, and however that's manifesting in your mind right now, trust yourself, trust your intuition and how that manifests. So for some of you, the security is like you've always wanted to do this thing. You've always wanted to be a teacher. You've always wanted to be a public speaker. You've always wanted to be, you have a YouTube channel. You've always wanted to do something. But it's so much easier to just do this other thing, to just go to school and get your 4-year degree and to go and, you know, follow like a specific predictable path. Now, the 4 of Pentacles can talk about like, it doesn't mean that you have to throw all of that away. But maybe you do add something on, and a little by little by little. So I would say with the Page of Cups here and the 4 of Pentacles that it doesn't have to be like a drastic change. Actually, that book comes to mind. They made a movie about it with Julia Roberts. What is it? Eat, Pray, Love? Yeah. So that's, I was trying, like, how does that? She goes on like this journey of self-discovery, and she goes to 3 places that she'd never been before, and she eats a lot, and then she goes someplace where she prays a lot. She has a very like spiritual experience, and then she ends up like in Morocco, I think, and she finds love there. She didn't expect to, but, and I don't think she expected like Eat, Pray, Love to really be the name of the book when she embarked on that either. It just was like something that she just needed a change. I'm also getting vibes of, there's another one by Reese Witherspoon where she goes on a journey with the, what's that trail, the Pacific Coastal Trail, and then there's the Appalachian Trail on the east side, where people like, they spend months walking through the woods, hiking these trails. There's one that runs through Colorado as well, and they go thousands of miles. Robert Redford just did a movie as well with it. So it doesn't mean that you have to have that drastic change. Like if you're being called to, for instance, those people just they needed something completely different in their life, and they kind of hit the reset button and did it. However, I think there's easier ways, more gradual change to do that. I do feel like there's a lot of following your dreams here, and sometimes those dreams seem unattainable. But remember, you have the Page of Cups here. You have this like gift for finding those things that seem unattainable and bringing them in. Those kind of like, definitely a lot of out of the box thinking that needs to occur here. So there's an awakening kind of your spirit and your mind that's going on. And how can you embrace your purpose? Let's talk about embracing this purpose and bringing it here to the forefront. 10 of Swords. So the 10 of Swords is kind of like, yeah, this is how I used to be. This is how it was. I used to overthink things. I used to have everything be logical. And it has really gotten me into a point where I am asking questions like, what is my life purpose? Because the 10 of Swords is almost, and I feel like it's really related here to the boundaries, like bringing in other people's expectations, whether that's life expectations or what they have what they expect of you, or because the society has these specific expectations, you think you need to have those expectations of yourself. This boundaries card is really asking us to rethink those societal expectations that you've been putting on yourself. This happens to me a lot. I know that Women especially, we have these expectations of we're supposed to do this within a relationship at this time, and we're supposed to have kids, and we're supposed to be married, and we're supposed to do this, and we're supposed to do that. And, you know, everything under the sun we think that we're supposed to do. That has not gotten easier with social media, I don't think, because there's so much clutter. This is clearing the clutter. How can you embrace your purpose? We need to clear the clutter. We need to set your boundaries. We need to let go of these expectations. The great thing about the Ten of Swords, usually it's you know, even this cat doesn't look that happy, but usually it's somebody who has 10 swords sticking out of their back. They feel like, you know, and you see this a lot where people have followed a program that they were told that they're supposed to do. If you want a healthy, happy life, you're supposed to do this, and you're supposed to do this, and you're supposed to do this. And people have done it. And the problem is that they're not finding happiness because they're following somebody else's program. They're not following their own heart. They're not following their own program. And again, I think social media makes it easier than ever for us to figure out, oh, well, that person's doing that and they seem happy. Little do they know they're not happy at all, but they seem happy. I should do that too. And then you're finding you're not happy at all. This is people who are not following their intuition, who don't have a good sense of self. When we have boundaries, we need to have that sense of ourself. We need to have that autonomy. Like, I am not another just person on this planet. I am me. And okay. So this says the Ten of Swords represents backstabbing, collapse, defeat, failure, loss, and a painful ending. I don't think it has to be so painful. I actually think it's kind of like a joyful thing. However, I think that a lot of people, especially when we have this Four of Pentacles here, a lot of people are just in this idea or mentality that, but if I'm safe and secure and warm and fed, and then everything is good, right? And it's like we're finding out, no, that's not. We have other things that we need to explore. We have, sorry, I'm pulling these cards out here. We have other avenues that we need to move towards. And sometimes it feels like change is scary. Sometimes when something ends, it's very scary. Think of when you graduate high school. What's going to happen in that next phase? You don't know. We don't know, but we have to trust that we're moving towards a better place. And like with all these other cards, I really feel like you are. All right, let's get some more advice. Group 1, life purpose. What else can the cards tell us? It's time to start, and it's time to start in your own home. We have here and now, and we have no place like home. I'm sorry, my camera keeps cutting out, and I don't know why. Anyway, not your problem, that's mine. Your problem is it's getting past this Ten of Swords. It's getting past kind of almost this feeling that you've been lied to, and the shedding of this ideas of society that doesn't match your own. You have here and now, and you have no place like home that come out. And I love these, and we'll talk about that in a second. I just realized I noticed something here with the boundaries card. You know, we get the throat chakra, but we also, if you see, she's got this line coming down into her, you know, in her body, kind of like chakras. So I just feel like, and then we have a lot of messages around balance. So alignment, you might do a meditation for aligning your chakras. I think that could be very helpful for you. Getting a better sense of well-being, getting a better sense of your kind of like, I don't want to say role in the world, but where you fit in. And you fit in just because you're you, okay? So that's all you need. That's all you really need. You don't have to be like everybody else. And in fact, like sitting here on this egg, we've got the past, we've got the future, we've got you here and now, and you are here in this moment. I feel like being present is very important for you. I also feel like meditation can be very helpful. There's a lot of self-exploration. Don't worry that you don't have all of the answers. You're not going to. The only thing that matters is releasing negativity, releasing things that have been holding you back, releasing, gosh, does this happen to you? Let me know if it does, where you're like getting ready to go to sleep and then all of a sudden you think of some mean thing that somebody said, or maybe even that you said to somebody else, and it was like the third grade. We gotta let that go. We can't carry it around anymore. It's too much baggage and it's holding us back. Or it could be something that like your 5th grade teacher told you. I've told this story before, but my 5th grade teacher, and I carried this for a long time because kids are impressionable and teachers tell us things. You have to question some of the things that you've been taught. Because it could be something that's holding you back. And in 5th grade, we went into 5th grade, and my teacher, for some reason, she wouldn't let the boys play with the girls on the playground. All the other classes, mind you, could do that, but we couldn't, and we would get in trouble for it. And it was not a school rule, it was just her rule. And for the longest time, I just was like, oh, before that, I was really interested in soccer. I was really good. I could play soccer. I was into it. And then I was like, oh, I can't do that. That's not something that I'm supposed to do or can do. And I feel like it's almost like a revealing of things for you versus a having to go and find it. I feel like there's this story about this golden Buddha that was in the middle of this town, and the town was going to be invaded. So they didn't have time to move it, and they didn't know where they could hide it. So they just covered this golden Buddha in mud. So it just looked like, it didn't look like anything special at all. It just looked like, a muddy statue. Nobody wanted it, so they just left it. And then it was covered in mud for so long that people forgot that there was gold underneath until it was starting to be revealed. And that is where we're at right now. We need to start revealing who you are, pulling back the layers of society that just don't fit, that never did fit, that are not for you anymore. And part of that is being present. Part of that is dipping inside your own heart, your own intuition, to discover who you are, your unique voice, because it's needed and it needs to be heard. You need there's just this really beautiful energy, and it doesn't have to be anything huge. It doesn't have to be like, you don't have to be the next president, for example. And in fact, I think you're more important than the next president. If the past 2 presidents have proved nothing, it's that they don't really matter. It doesn't matter who the president is. It matters more about what's going on in your own home, and it matters more about what's going in your own mind. There's no place like home. And there's this, it's my favorite saying probably from Mother Teresa, and it's not necessarily that she said it, it's more of what she said. And it's, if you want to change the world, go home and love your family. It starts with you. It starts with the people that you have interactions with every single day. It starts with your community, and then it radiates out from there. So that's what I have for you, Group 1. Whew, I hope this helped. I hope it's helpful. Please let me know if it is. And I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next reading. Hello, Group 2. So this is Blue Apatite. It apparently, even though it seems pretty, I guess, I was going to say it's apparently a very soft stone. So it's not, even though as beautiful it is, it's not used in jewelry that often. But the powder makes an amazing paint. So if you're wondering what the uses, the commercial uses would be paint. Otherwise, it's just a stone here sitting in my collection. Metaphysically, it is used to stimulate intelligent thinking and self-reflection. It helps with our throat chakra and our third eye chakra. It's said to cleanse our aura and is often used in alternative or past life deeds. So if you're somebody who is looking to, and this might be a connection to the reading here, if you're here to change the, what is that called? We're working with our ancestors to kind of break the patterns of our family, break that ancestral kind of thing that has gone on in our family. This, it'll come to me after I'm done here. This is the stone to work with. It has been described as a stone that accompanies deep meditation and then can help in the search for freedom. So it's a great one for you to choose here, group 2, when we are talking about your soul purpose, your life purpose. And let's not beat around the bush. Let's just jump right into it and ask, why are you here? And ask and we shall receive. Look at this strength card. You are here to be strong. You are here okay, so there's internal and external components to the strength card. The internal components, because I could say like you're here to be strong for other people, and then you're like, I don't know, how can I do that when I have like these crazy things raging inside my own head? But that's part of the strength card too. The person who is strong here, even though we have a lion and we know the strength of lions, we have this beautiful young lady who the lion is eating out of the palm of her hand. So we have this idea of the wild and untamed versus the kind of like showing it love, showing it compassion, and showing it a different way and a better way, maybe a calmer way. It is those demons that are inside. It's, you know, feeding them, calming them down, and taking that to a positive realm, to a positive way of thinking or positive way of being. So we have to conquer those demons or those beasts that are inside our own head so that we can project this pillar of strength and be that pillar of strength for other people. Why are you here? You're here to be strong for yourself first, of course, and then when you're in a moment where you can't be strong for others, that's okay. Part of your strength is maybe showing your resolve. This is a quiet strength. This is a calm strength. This is, let's take a deep breath. Let's think this through. Let's react in a very, it doesn't necessarily always have to be a positive way, but like a way that moves us forward in a positive direction. Take a deep breath and be very present in this moment. There's also an element of strength where I mentioned before about like, yes, you're here to be strong for other people. Sometimes we are like, sometimes it's overwhelming. Sometimes that's we feel like we're not enough. And part of strength is recognizing that in ourselves and understanding like you don't have to be strong all the time. There's a vulnerability here in this strength that makes it strong. I just want to get one of these cards. What can we add to strength? Universal love. We can add universal love to strength. So the frequency of universal love activates the connection we feel to each other, to our planet, and to the whole of existence. And again, we are here, this tiny little dot in the middle, and it radiates out from us. It's having that love in our heart, even for those who we don't understand, even for those who we may never understand, even for those who have wronged us. I feel like strength is a lot of times about forgiveness. Strength is number 8 card, and then we have 44 here for universal love. So, ooh, 4's coming up here. Just say yes also. So I think there's a confidence in love and a confidence in, like, this kind of came out with group number 1 too, like this integrity within it, where you can just say yes, where you can just be bold, where you can just be where you can just allow. You're not going to understand everything, but allow it. I feel like there's a great adventure here for you. Strength is a major arcana card. It's a major, major energy. It's also ruled by Leo the lion. So we get that fire energy, we get that creativity behind it. And it's following your passion and following what you love and having the strength to do it, and the openness and having the strength to love people who are maybe not that lovable. Ace of Pentacles. This is, what are you being called to do? Pentacles is here. When I say here, I mean earthbound. Pentacles is the earth. It's about the physical. It's about doing. It's about being. It's the material. I love this Ace of Pentacles because there's growth. You're here to grow. You're here to, I almost feel like there might be an element of you being a muse for other people. Like, yes, there is this idea of success for others, but you're also meant to be successful for yourself. You're meant to follow your path in creating wealth. Don't worry about, you know, a lot of times we talk about being materialistic or material needs, and that's talked about in a very negative way. Here it's very positive. You're meant to go and find your fortune. You're meant to grow and help others grow. And this can also talk about your body as well. So if you've ever been, this is interesting, thought to be like a bodybuilder or into fitness, follow that. Follow that passion. That's what you're meant to do. You're meant to explore. You're meant to create. You're meant to make money. You're meant to be to again, say yes. Follow that flow. And then how are you blocking yourself? If this isn't flowing, how is it being blocked? And we got the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands, I love the Knights. They're out on a quest, they're out on an adventure, they run, they go, they follow their passions, but they don't always think it through. The Ace of Pentacles, like, this is the brand new beginning. This is a ton of potential. So you have a ton of potential. You can get really excited about that potential and then just follow it without even thinking it through, without that thought of like, wait a second, that's not actually the right path for me. I need to put like a process in place. I need to put a little bit of more thought behind this. I need to, that sounds really cool. And yes, I'm supposed to say yes to things, and I'm really excited about saying yes to things. But if I go on that path, I'm going to miss this other path, this other opportunity that is actually correct for me. So the way that you are blocking yourself is maybe saying yes too soon, not thinking things through, not having a plan. So I know that I was like, say yes, follow your heart, follow your passion. That you're meant to. You are, but you're meant to, like, okay, put a little bit of thought about that. Let's put some energy into it. Is that going to come out in the way that I think it will? Is it going to have the payoff that I think it will? Is it just distracting me or detracting me from this other adventure? I understand that what is for me is for me. Not everything is, I don't have to say yes to everything, even though it says say yes. And I can follow a path and reverse. That's okay too. but follow through could be something that is kind of holding you back. That you get excited about something. It might be somebody who has like a ton of DIY projects. Let's get a couple of them done. Let's start finishing things. Let's put some lists together. Let's check some things off. Let's make it, let's put some goals out there and let's accomplish those goals rather than just going, oh, yes, that's a good idea, and going off and I think there's some time being wasted where you're not putting the thought into what does it take to do this job. For instance, I mean, in the material world, maybe you need to redo your closet. And so then the first thing you do is you start tearing your closet apart, and instead of like thinking it through, like, why do I need to redo my closet? What do I want to put in here? What do I want to, so just start asking yourself a little bit more questions. Start questioning yourself a little bit. Start writing some things down. Start putting some goals down. And then instead of like 6 months from now when you have all of your clothes on the floor because you started this project and you had no idea of what the end goal would be, you have like this very functional closet of what you really want. And then the last question I'm going to ask of these cards is, how can you embrace your purpose? So this strength, this possibilities, this saying yes, how do we embrace it? And we get the 9 of Cups. Wow. So the 9 of Cups, I almost sounded like Owen Wilson there. Wow. The 9 of Cups is the wish card. Embrace your dreams. I kind of feel like some of your dreams might be a little materialistic, or other people might say that. Embrace what is important to you. Say yes to you. Don't worry about what other people deem is valid or just, or I think so many, the clutter with social media is just crazy, right? Bring it back to you. If love radiates from you, bring back the love to you. Like this is, you're not existing in a vacuum. You're existing with other people. And in fact, I feel like when somebody doesn't like what you're doing, we'll call them a Karen, for instance, send them love. That's what you're supposed to do. Have enough strength to recognize that they're on a different journey than you are, send them love, and continue on your way to your dreams, to realizing all of your dreams. The 9 of Cups is somebody who has they've walked away from things that just were not vibing with them, that just were not for their greatest good. They've walked away from those things, and they've had the guts to go and find what it is that we were talking about, going off and finding your dreams and not being deterred by that. Having the strength to do that through all of the clutter. And sometimes you might feel alone, and I apologize for that. We get to the sea and we get orphaned. This, I kind of feel like, is more of, sometimes you're going to feel like you're out on a boat going here alone. You need to have a clear idea of where you're going. Again, going back to these goals, you probably need to write it down. You need to have a clear idea of where your north is, and a clear understanding that probably most people aren't going to see what you feel like is success as success, and that's okay. It's okay to be different. It's okay to be you. It's having that strength and fortitude to follow your dreams, find your wildest dreams and your wishes. And I almost get this feeling of, what do they say? First, they'll ask you, why are you doing that? Like, why are you doing that? And then they'll ask you how you did it. So it is wading through. I kind of feel like we're really tapping into this strength here and why you need it. And I feel like there's some things from your past that you need to really release and let go. That the 9 of Cups has done that. And in fact, it looks very similar to the sea and this orphaned, because it's like I've achieved this, I've done this, and it is not fulfilling. It's not what I want. And it's having that strength to realize that you've been on a path that isn't as fulfilling as you thought it was or should be. And you're not starting over, you're starting from experience. You're starting this journey, and maybe you're the only one who sees where it can take you. And sometimes it might be lonely, and we keep coming back to, why are you here? You're here to be strong. You're here to blaze trails that others just cannot see. You're here to love those who would question where you're going and what you're doing and not be concerned about their opinions. And you're here to say yes to you. You're here to say yes to your journey. You're here to embrace you through all of your flaws and not be concerned about that. Just love yourself as you would love others. So that's what I have for you, group 2. Whew. Some really amazing energy here, really is. Especially when we get the wish card, the strength and the wish card. Oh my gosh, there's like nothing that you can't accomplish. And I almost feel like that might be a little bit more difficult actually here when we're talking about your life purpose, because I feel like you have been trying to find it and you have been on like certain paths, but things just haven't been panning out. And I almost feel like you're at the point where you're like, you know what? I need to make something grow where it's never grown before. I need to do this thing where everybody's going to look at me and say, wow, you're kind of crazy. But at the end of it, my success is going to speak for itself because I'm just saying yes to myself. And that's what I have. So thank you so much, group 2. I hope that you have an amazing day. Thanks so much for being here with me, and I will see you in the next reading. Hello, group 3. Let's talk about your life purpose, shall we? We have this beautiful druzy heart, the number 3, and then whatever, if it was the deck that brought you here or the heart. I love this heart. I love love, but I almost feel like sometimes if you choose this, that it's because we're talking about like a slash across the heart. How symbolic is that with feeling of you're really feeling a deep loss or a deep hurt right now, and whether that's something very like personal because you're contemplating why you're here, or just you've been betrayed, or you're just sad because of somebody passing. I'm sorry about that feeling, but let's talk about how we can use it and move forward. Or if you just thought it was pretty, let's use that too. So why are you here? We have the first card that comes out. We get the Queen of Swords. So I love queens. They're probably my favorite. I like them more than kings. It's just a bias. Queen of Swords. She's very connected to like Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra. I'm an air sign. I don't know why it's an air sign. Swords are connected to that. Communication, but she is a master communicator. She's also somebody who's not to be trifled with. She's somebody who draws boundaries. She listens as much as she speaks. She doesn't speak all the time, so what she says carries weight. She's very wise, and I love queens because they create. So she creates communication. She creates intelligence. She brings in ideas. She creates ideas. So you're an idea person. You are somebody you're supposed to be thoughtful. You're supposed to be cerebral. You're supposed to when you speak, it's supposed to carry weight because there's wisdom behind it. I also love the imagery we get with her. We have butterflies. So If you don't feel like this energy, or you don't completely embrace it right now, it's something, and I love the clouds here behind her. It's something that you're meant to step into and grow with and grow into. Let's get another card here to kind of support our queen. What else can you tell us about the life purpose of group 3? Group 3 life purpose here. Transition. The frequency of transition supports our deep understanding of the ever-changing nature of existence and our lives, so that we can learn and grow, surrender to the process, and allow transition to occur with ease and grace. So this ease and grace definitely reflects back here to our Queen of Swords. And transition, transition is going to happen with or without us. just being honest here. We grow older every day. Things change every day. This moment today is going to be different than this moment yesterday and this moment tomorrow. And it is about understanding that. Maybe having a vision of where you think those transitions are going to go, where it's going to occur. I also feel like maybe even a little bit of control over those transitions, because when we have this strong vision, as we do with the Queen of Swords, then I don't want to say like impose our vision on the world, but there's she creates, and she's very thoughtful, and she's very intelligent. So in putting that out there, because obviously world leaders, where our world is, or where people think our world is, isn't necessarily what it could be or where we would want it to go. So this is holding a vision for the future and stepping up in leadership. Queens are leaders. You're a leader. Maybe not the most obvious leader. Kings would be like a more obvious leader, but queens definitely kind of reminds me of that. If you've ever seen it, it's an oldie but a goodie. It's My Big Fat Greek Wedding. The woman wants to marry somebody who's not Greek, and her father is kind of opposed. She's concerned about what her father says about marrying somebody who's not Greek. And she doesn't want to go against her father's wishes. She doesn't want to go against his will. I mean, it's tradition. There's a heavy tradition with that family, and especially like, it's my big fat Greek wedding. Like, Greek is a big deal in it. Her family is a big deal with it. The traditions of the family, their customs, huge deal. But she sees herself going in a different way than her family. She is leading with love in that instance. But anyway, she's talking to her mom about it. Her dad is against her wedding. And her mom is like, she's like, well, what are you going to do, Mom? Dad is the leader, the king is the leader. And she's like, yeah, but I'm the neck. Like, your dad is the head of the household, but I'm the neck. Neck also is where the throat chakra is, by the way, which would be with this speaking out, speaking up here with this Queen of Swords. Okay. But the neck turns the head. The neck turns the head where she wants to turn it. So even though she may not be the head, she may not be like that leader, she is the one who makes thoughtful observations, who says the truth, who speaks new ideas, and who changes where this transition is going. Okay, that's you. So even though I'm saying she is in this particular queen, it's not, if you don't identify as she, that's okay. It's the thought behind it. You are the one who's speaking the truth, who is speaking that vision and creating that vision of where we need to go as a society. Leap, you go first. The universe will catch up. This reminds me also, there's that saying about So many times we sit at this ledge, we stand here and we're looking at this opportunity in front of us, and we have this idea of what we want to act on, and we want to do this, and we just don't see a way forward. We just don't see how it's going to happen, or at least we don't, like, we have this idea, we need to take this first step, we're not quite sure about this first step because we don't have step 5, step 10, step 50 figured out. We might understand, like, step 100 we want to be here, and step 1 we think is here, but because we don't have the middle figured out, so many people just sit there and look at their opportunity and just let it go by and never do anything with it because we don't have the middle part worked out. And this leap is like, hey, trust your future self with future issues. The only thing that you have today is, like, to look forward to that step 100 and to take step 1. Once you've taken step 1, then things start revealing themselves. When you take a step, God steps with you. And that's all you need to know. Like, once you start moving towards what you want, it starts unfolding the way that you want. Whew, I'm getting goosebumps because it's very powerful. You're a very powerful creator, and that's what you're here for, is to create. And what are you being called to do? What did I say? You're being called to create. You're here to, look at these two guys. We've got the back of them. You're here to walk away. You're here to walk away from what's not working and to walk towards what you're supposed to, what you really want. The 8 of Cups is, we have all of these cups. We have everything that we think that we wanted, but it's just not enough. The next card is the Wish card. The next card is exactly what we want. And I kind of feel like a lot of times we have a goal in mind. You're going to get a certain degree or whatever, or you want this promotion, or you want to move to a new city, and we get that. And it's not enough because it's about the journey. This is about your journey. And in fact, both of these cards are about a journey. 3 of Wands and the 8 of Cups. Being grateful and thankful for what we have, but understanding that we still are moving forward. We still have more to do. We still have this journey that we're going on. And then the 3 of Wands, and actually both of them can talk about travel. I think travel is a big thing for you. Experiences. 3 of Wands is usually, you know, this is a sea here, like traveling across the sea. Cups also, you know, talks about water, and we've moved past the stream. So you might be traveling across oceans. You might be traveling great distances. People in your life might be expressing, like, ooh, what are you going to do when you go to, like, this other country? You might be being called to go to another country. And I love the Queen of Swords here. It's like, you know what? I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to figure it out. My dream has always been to study abroad, to work in Switzerland, to travel to Egypt, whatever that is, that's your dream. You're meant to follow it. And both of these cards are about following those dreams. The 3 of Wands, Wands is about passion. And then I said Cups here. Cups is about our emotions. So it's getting on board with, you know, allowing our passions and our emotions to guide us to our dreams. And 3 of Wands is taking those steps, the stepping forward, like we talked about with Leap. And the 8 of Cups is about understanding where we are, being grateful for what we have, but being real with ourselves that we want more, and not being held back by that. In fact, we're allowing it to push us forward a little bit more. Going back to the 3 of Wands, what could really help you is plans, setting plans in place. I know I said, you know, don't let that hold you back. The Three of Wands, he's pushing forward with those steps as he's going. He's being very calculated with it. We're not losing sight of the grand plan. We're not losing sight of our grand goal or a grand idea or ideal of this transition. And it's flowing with that transition, and almost, I think, group 3, that you're somebody who likes change, invites it, and pushes forwards. And if you're not, maybe this isn't the reading for you, or maybe you're being called to enjoy the journey more than the destination, that the journey can be a beautiful part. In fact, it might be the most important part of all of this. And how are you blocking yourself? Are you blocking yourself? We are blocking ourselves. We're blocking ourselves with the 10 of Swords. It's interesting because this card came up in another reading as well. The 10 of Swords is pretty graphic here, but it is allowing other people into our space to stab us in the back. And this doesn't mean that you can't love other people. It doesn't mean that you can't value what they say, but it does mean that you value who you are and your love for yourself and your own boundaries more. Boundaries isn't here, but the Queen of Swords, she knows who she is. She'll allow people to speak what's on their mind, but because she has this deep knowing and this deep knowledge of herself, she's not going to allow drama to hold her back. She's not going to worry about the comment section of her life. She's out here doing what she's doing. She's not going to go on Reddit and post, "Am I the a-hole for something?" She knows either she is and she's fine with it and she's going to live with it, or she knows herself that she's not, and she's not going to worry about other people saying that she is. She's not going to worry about the drama. She's not going to worry about the Karens. She's not going to worry about the clutter of people telling her what she can and cannot do. She knows what she can do, and she's being very bold here and pushing forward. And how can you embrace your purpose, embracing that purpose? And we get the 6 of Coins. I love this. This is about a very reciprocal energy. And look at what you have. You have Swords, Cups, Wands, and Pentacles, which tells me this is very, trust yourself. You're doing things in a very balanced way. You're doing things in a very kind of reciprocal way. And in fact, the balance comes in here with the 6 of Pentacles. The helping people when they need help and being open to allowing people to help you when you need help. It's this reciprocal energy of embracing the world in that way. Maybe you're looking at your bank account right now and you're like, I only have $100 and I know somebody who needs $50, and if I give them $50, that means that I don't have that money. That's this fear over here. The 6 of Pentacles is fearless. Now you make up your own mind. You trust you make up your own mind in fearlessness. But the 6 of Pentacles says that, you know what? I know you need this. I'm going to give it to you, and I'm not going to experience lack. I'm going to trust that I have a job and I can make more money and my bank account is going to grow. It's being in, I feel like there's a lot of law of attraction here with this 6 of Pentacles. It's trusting yourself that, hey, this 20 bucks that I have in my pocket, you need that more than I do. And if I'm in your position, then it's going to get paid forward to me. That somebody will say, hey, here's something so that you can, and it doesn't necessarily even need to be money. However, that's what's being depicted here. It's that goodwill, it's that good gesture, it's, again, these ideas. Okay, let's get some more cards out here. Just kind of like our final advice here for group 3 and your soul purpose, your life purpose. Higher power, so you're very much connected to a higher power. Your purpose is a higher power. Ooh, soulmates, very interesting. You know, I'm one with soulmates. I don't always believe that soulmate has to be a romantic thing or a romantic gesture. I kind of feel like this journey that you're on is better with other people. Whether that's a partner or a friend or sharing with others. I feel like sharing is another thing that is meant to, is coming up here with your life purpose, that you're meant to have the key to somebody else's heart, unlock it and love them. There's so many, several ways where I feel like my mom or my daughter is my soulmate. Where we just kind of like that love, or there's just certain things that only I can understand with them, where I don't understand, you know, there's just certain things that only make sense with them that don't make sense with other people, is what I'm trying to say. Even though I would consider, you know, my husband a soulmate. But I also think that I'm very lucky in that, and there's a lot of people who are looking for love and not finding it. I feel like a good understanding of yourself and a good idea of like this sharing is going to help with that. So basically, like if you're not in a relationship, if you're not married at this moment, or maybe you're in a relationship and you just are like, they're not my soulmate, that's okay. I just think that your journey here, your soul purpose, is to really love others. Part of your soul purpose is to share it with others and for them to share it with you. And I think that's why sometimes you might get in trouble here with this 10 of Swords card, because you do open yourself up to other people and they let you down. And that's very sad. And I'm sorry. And it's a very human experience is all I can say. Connection with a higher power. I do feel like you have spirit guides and angels around you. However you feel like that manifests. I know some people are more drawn to angels or more drawn to spirit guides, or maybe even more drawn to an ancestor connection, whether that be a grandparent or somebody who's passed who is helping to guide you. I feel like your life purpose is part of the higher power. It's part of this this kind of like a leap. It's trusting that you know, that I have a hard time with people who are just like, we have no meaning, we have no purpose, it means nothing. Yours definitely means something. And I think there are people here who squander their life. Unfortunately, I find that very sad. And you're not one to, that's not what's meant for you. You're very powerful. And again, I feel like you're a very integral part in how things transition and how things change, and how I feel like there's a very huge connection here with the law of attraction. So your energy is really important. What you project, what you want to project, and what you I feel like your vibrations bring things into realities in a way that other people's just don't. And part of that is just believing that you can. Part of that is just believing how blessed you are, and what you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be blessed, okay? And you're supposed to be powerful. and you're supposed to journey, and you're supposed to love, and you're supposed to have goals for the future, and you're supposed to think about the new way that Earth could be versus how it is now. And you are an integral part in moving it towards that. And that's through sharing and through love and through your ideas and through your journey. So that's what I have for you, Group 3. I think this is a really amazing reading. I think you're a really amazing person, and your purpose is amazing as well. So thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next reading.